I confirm this debate.
I call Grant Robertson.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. When you find incompetence, arrogance and ideology meeting, you'll find this national government. That's what we have learned out of the Privacy Commissioner's report today. This is a shambles, Mr Speaker, and the Privacy Commissioner, an officer of this parliament, has made, not an officer, but an officer of this country's people, has made a report that I don't think I have ever seen more damning from that office. And the government and Alfred Naro to stand up and say, you can't say this report shows we're out of touch, that's just what it shows, Mr Naro. Because community organisations right around New Zealand have been raising concerns about the individual level client data collection from day one. And no minister, no member of that government has been prepared to actually listen to that. Instead, they barge on with their ideological approach to social investment, which I will return to shortly, and nothing can stop that because, Mr Speaker, it's all they've got. It's all they've got. After 9 years with social problems growing around them, all they've got is this approach, and Anne Tolley says, it is growing, all I've got is this, and I have to carry on no matter what the damage that I'm doing. Mr Speaker, it's very important for people listening to understand exactly what we're talking about today. The individual level client data approach makes the provision of personal, identifiable client data a requirement for receiving government funding for these organisations with no ability to opt out. Just think about that. The names, the addresses, the contact details of vulnerable people and their children being collected, and no ability for a community organisation to say that's not appropriate for us. So Alfred Naro says there's 100 and odd organisations who've signed up to. They had to. They had to do it. What kind of control freak government are we dealing with here that says that, that used to complain about nanny state? This government has caused the Privacy Commissioner to issue the most damning report I have ever seen his office issue, because this government is perpetuating on these organisations some of the most damaging actions that they need to take to get funding, and that, Mr Speaker, is a disgrace. I want to be absolutely clear too about what the Privacy Commissioner has said. The Privacy Commissioner has said that his view is that requiring the information to be collected in this way is excessive, disproportionate to the government's legitimate needs, and is therefore inconsistent with information privacy principles. That's it, Mr Speaker. It's fundamental. The program's out of control in terms of the basic values around privacy that New Zealanders hold dear. The Privacy Commissioner goes on. As the policy currently stands, individual clients are required to share that information. There will be negative consequences. Individuals may choose to stay away from seeking help at all. And Alfred Naro and the Minister have both said, oh, that's just people's fears, that's not real. It's real, Mr Speaker, and my colleague Stuart Nash has got just one example of how real this is. An organisation based in Napier called Dove that delivers a number of programs aimed at giving perpetrators of domestic violence strategies to modify their behaviour. Now, some of those people are referred by the courts, but others self-diagnose and undertake the programs because they want to improve themselves. Dove's management have told Mr Nash that they believe MSD's new policy so that they'll have to disclose clients' details will dissuade a number of clients from accessing their services. This is an organisation doing exactly the work we want to see done, and they're telling the government the people who would come to them will be dissuaded. The Privacy Commissioner is telling the government people will be dissuaded from getting the services that they need. And Alfred Naro says they're listening. They're not listening. They're refusing to listen to the very organisations like Dove in Napier who are trying to do the right thing by New Zealanders. That's arrogance. That's incompetence from the government, and unfortunately it's what we've come to expect from this government. The Privacy Commissioner goes on to say that one of his fears is that people actually will become more invisible to government as a result of this rather than more included, because people will avoid having their names being collected, or organisations will find ways of making sure that they don't collect the data, so people become more invisible. It's perverse, Mr Speaker. It goes against the outcomes that the Minister and Alfred Naro have told us today that they believe are important. Mr Speaker, I want to talk briefly about the Minister's response today around the question of the security of data and the portal that MSD have. It is ridiculous for the Minister to stand up today and try and claim the moral high ground that she shut the portal down once she found a breach. Where was the work before the portal was set up to ensure that it met the rules that the Privacy Commissioner himself set down for the government? They didn't test it. They stuck it up there. And unbelievably, Mr Speaker, organisations have been asked by MSD to provide the information on a spreadsheet. Get a bit of Excel out, send it into the government. That's not going to be secure, Mr Speaker. Anybody could tell you that. But the government forged ahead because the government's got nothing else on the go. It's all about this approach. This is the only way that they think they can get it through. And, Mr Speaker, any New Zealander who has been following the news in the last couple of years knows that this government's record around privacy is appalling. The Office of the Privacy Commissioner received 121 data breach notifications in the past financial year. Judith Collins a few years ago actually said we need to do something about this, but Amy Adams most recently has told us that the laws are robust and no changes are needed. Think about the breaches that we've had just in the last couple of years. MSD, multiple breaches. ACC, the Earthquake Commission, Housing New Zealand, the Medical Council, Immigration New Zealand, the Ministry of Justice, the Southern District Health Board. These are all public agencies with significant data security problems. This government has a problem when it comes to protecting the privacy of New Zealanders, and it is in denial. It is refusing to acknowledge that. Mr Speaker, that portal has been shut down after the fact. The Minister cannot guarantee to New Zealanders today that information that has been brought in from all of these agencies can be protected. And she said she doesn't trust it, and neither should New Zealanders. Well, Mr Speaker, that's the situation the Minister's in, already having implemented the program. That is a disgraceful way to go about this kind of work. And, Mr Speaker, the Privacy Commissioner has an excellent section on page 37 of the report entitled, "How could MSD have done better?" And I want to quote from it. "For a policy of this size and significance, I would have expected MSD to take a precautionary approach, clearly identifying its purposes and considering the full range of options to achieve these purposes. It didn't do it. For something so fundamental as capturing the names and addresses and the personal data of people, and they failed to take that precautionary approach." The Privacy Commissioner goes on, "MSD has not clearly articulated its objectives for collecting the data, nor it has explained how the data it receives will achieve its aims. This failure has negatively impacted on the trust and confidence of NGOs and the people who will be affected by the policy." It's an absolute failure. It's a failure of the most vulnerable in New Zealand who need these services. The agencies who work for them who have told the government they won't access the services under these circumstances, but they don't listen. They're out of touch, they're arrogant, and they are, in this case, totally incompetent. The Privacy Commissioner goes on, "I would have expected MSD to identify and mitigate risks early on, including by undertaking a thorough privacy impact assessment prior to implementing contractual changes and information collection processes. It is disappointing that a privacy impact assessment still has not been completed as at 4 April 2017. So Alfred Naro stood up and told us the Privacy Commission has been involved all the way through. He's been calling for a privacy impact assessment and they haven't done it. And as at the 4th of April, they still haven't done it. Mr Speaker, Every member of this House wants to make sure that the most vulnerable New Zealanders get the protection and the support that they need. In order to do that, we need a government that is sensitive to the privacy needs of those people, that is competent in what it does in going about its work. This report today is evidence that they have completely failed those vulnerable New Zealanders. They have been incompetent, they have been arrogant, and they have been driven by ideology, and that is why this government has got to go.
Te mana whakawā.
I call Marama Fox, 5 minutes.
Thank you, te mana whakawā.